Okay, welcome back. And in case maybe you haven't heard, the word has been slipping out. It's just all the buzz on social media right now.
Whatever.
Bill Murray is moving on to Wilmington, North Carolina.
I kept hoping that we would have won the Powerball on Wednesday, so we weren't going to be here for this. But here we are.
Yes, we are. And you know, it's really kind of interesting because you're going to be doing a morning show in Wilmington.
I'm going to be Rob Johnson at the beach.
And you've always talked about how, he said this for years, he said, I would love to do a morning show. I would love to. Now you're doing a morning show at the beach.
There you go.
So he's going to be the most popular man at WSAZ for years to come, no doubt about it.
That's because I got all the vacation, right? Instant vacation for people who work here.
And originally from New Jersey, Bill is, and Bill talks about Jersey a lot. So the beach. So this is kind of a return.
Sort of.
Kind of a return to the original idea, the roots.
But you know, here I was growing up a socially awkward kid. I'm still a socially awkward adult. And in many ways, television has been my life-saving blood in some ways. You know, I joke when we do these public appearances, my palms are sweaty. I could talk to a red light 24/7, telethon. But get in a room with more than 4 people and I clam up.
Do you have a favorite story that you've worked on, whether here at DTV or anywhere? Do you have that memorable thing that sticks in your mind?
Here's the thing. I don't have that kind of memory to be able to,
I don't either.
to share and say, oh, I remember this, I remember that. I am most proud in the 2 decades that I've been here, and time just slips away, and we've talked about this before. I am most proud of the people who have been in this newsroom with us in that tenure, to see them grow. Not to say that we molded them, but to see them grow in the time that they've been here. And whether they've stayed and they're coworkers of mine now to this day, or they've moved on to other places, to be able to see the success and to see the difference they're making in other people's lives is just amazing. And I could rattle off names if you want to. I mean, the running joke was I was the Henry VIII of the First at 5. Think of all the people that, Melanie Schaefer, I love you. You know, we see each other, what, like 2 times a year?
Yeah, she does more.
Christmas party. You know, and she runs in really quick with
the
her
Ashland Christmas
backpack on and says, oh gosh, I've got so much to do. She's out the door by 8 o'clock. We come in usually at 9, and so it's always like a hi, how are you? That started the ball rolling, and then we had Sherry Jackson, Dela Cruz, who I remember very vividly. Who else? Penny Moss, who I just texted a couple of days ago. And then Carrie, and then all the people in Charleston. Jessica
Amanda
Ralston,
shows up after that.
Amanda went and came back. Just like I was here first for a while. And
PM
then
Magazine.
Came back.
Let's talk about that.
All right.
PM Magazine. That was at the time there was a PM Magazine and Evening Magazine. It was a.
If you remember that, if you're old enough to remember that, then you're holding up well. That was a long time ago.
For those of us to hear that were older. But that was really kind of cool.
Hi, I'm Deborah Sloan.
And I'm Bill Murray. To start things off, let's talk about history for just a little bit.
That was a great show to work on.
It was a lot of fun. You know, I worked here for, I think, about 2 years. From 87, 88 to 1990. And television was much different then. We had an office back in the corner. It was the 4 of us. We did our own thing. You know, I remember Kathy Brown and Randy Yohe and all those folks, but you saw them from a distance and waved. They weren't really coworkers because our schedules were so different, and we got to see the world. And to be able to see the world and still live in Huntington, West Virginia was a pretty amazing thing.
I do want to ask you this question. Would you say that you enjoy reporting or hosting, aka anchoring?
Oh, I don't know. That's been a long time ago.
Because reporting, I'm going to interrupt you here. Reporting, I'm going to tell you, and I've told you this before, and I tell anybody who comes into the station who is hired as a reporter, I say, watch Bill Murray.
You ate all the chicken. It's different. Was it good?
Yeah.
And I take them aside and say, how can you help me? And I said, I'm not going to help you. Watch Bill Murray. Follow him around for a day or 2. See how he does it.
To soften the blow, so to speak, the Consumer Product Safety Commission actually has a set of guidelines for public playground safety. I haven't done that in 30 years.
Because there's a certain craft. Nobody can be like anybody else, but they can learn things from you.
But it got me thinking. Great in theory. Play devil's advocate with me, okay? You've got one of these, and I've got one of these.
Well, good question.
And as a reporter, I'm going
to take that as a compliment, but I can't tell you that one way or the other. I have a formula. When I go, I try to find the light. Sometime between 15 minutes to a half an hour after the intruders came,
that Mr. Bailey was able to get out the door and ran to a neighbor to call 911.
You know, even in the tragedy, you find the light. When I first started here, that was my job actually, is the 5 o'clock co-anchor with Melanie. We worked and did a couple of stories a week, and we did those talk about stories. They weren't necessarily the news of the day.
Talk about how times are changing. Now some funeral homes are actually streaming those funeral services live on the web so that people can pay their last respects either across town or thousands of miles away.
As the television has evolved, and as my role at this television station has evolved, we sometimes now focus a lot on the negative. And when that happens, you can get wrapped up in that and say, you know what, enough's enough. But when you go with the mentality that no matter what tragedy has happened, if you can find the light, that doesn't mean making someone smile,
right,
but that means that gives somebody an idea as to what that other person is going through, whether that be empathy or just joy or just an understanding. It makes a huge difference in that minute and a half.
One of the obstacles now is just coordinating everything, because here in York Township, it's very remote, which makes even something as simple as dialing 911 right now next to impossible.
And I hope that when you would to look at my body of work, that you would say, didn't matter whether I was doing something goofy.
All the side streets in our region are a sheet of ice. Whoa! And with these cold temperatures,
that you saw a symbol of that in some way. Well, I'm getting a little tongue-tied.
No, but we can, and that's what I remember. That's what stands out the most. And not one particular story, but your ability to do that. And it was something that it just blew me away. I'd see story after story, and when I'd say, you know, when we'd say Tony would be here, I'd be here. We'd say, Bill, that was a great story, and it wasn't just idle talk. We really meant it. So that's nice. I really wanted to say.
And what did I say when that was a nice story? I go, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that was the response. Yeah, thanks. Let's talk about where you're going, Wilmington.
Yeah, I'm going to the beach. I'm pretty excited, and going with former coworkers, which is also very exciting because it's a soft landing.
Scott Saxton, he used to be here.
He was
news director.
Our news reporter in Charleston. People may remember him who watch TV when he was in Charleston as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just a unique opportunity that kind of fell into my lap, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Well, we are very excited for you. We're very sad to see you go. And the legacy that you left behind is going to be a little bit bigger than what you left at DTV in Clarksburg.
I've joked to a lot of people, including Tim, you know, that I'm a religious man, believe in all of that. I don't necessarily believe in the power of prayer, because for like 20 years I've been praying he got hit by a bus so that I could take his place. And look, he's still here. So
I just avoid traffic.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. We'll be right back.